Joining us now is our friend Rick Caruso, founder and CEO of the Caruso Real Estate Group. Rick, welcome. Good, as always, to see you. Let's talk about the vacancy rates in your, let's call them commercial properties. I note that back in 2016, you had basically 100% occupancy. What's occupancy like today?
Hi, Tyler. We are fully occupied. We're still running a very strong portfolio, but we're in the retail side of the business, and we're in outdoor centers, as you know, outdoor properties, and they remain strong, and our growth continues at a double-digit pace. So that's also a question which we've talked about in the past of how the consumer is doing and the consumer spending. When you take a look at what the professor was talking about, downtown office, which I'm not in the office business, they're running at over a 20% vacancy right now. And that is a significant problem. But I also want to say, I think there's a solution to those problems in these downtown cores.
And what is it?
Well, listen, first of all, it has to start with the cities. The counties have to be good partners. It's very difficult to fill up office space when you've got a homeless problem at the base of the buildings, when you've got a crime problem in a lot of these downtowns, when they're not clean. So what you see happening in Los Angeles, there's a shift from the downtown core to other areas of Los Angeles where the office product is actually doing pretty well. The downtown product is really struggling. And the real impact that happens with that, in addition to the building owners losing their buildings or the banks taking them back, and the banks don't want them, by the way, is that all the small businesses that are dependent on that daytime population get impacted. And 90% of the economy in Los Angeles and most cities around the United States are based on small businesses, and we need to protect those. Clean the cities, solve the homeless problem, create a better environment for people to come to work. It's pretty simple stuff, but the government needs to be a good partner with these building owners.
Rick, what about, just to circle back to our kind of discussion/debate about shrink and retail theft? You have a lot of kind of these outdoor shopping locations. How much of a challenge is that for you or for your tenants?
Well, I think it's a challenge for everybody. Now, listen, on our properties, we have a zero tolerance in terms of thievery, and we have a lot of security. We have a lot of systems on the property from a security standpoint. You know, the Grove alone has over 300 cameras. All of our properties are highly monitored because we want to have a safe environment. That's our number one priority. We want to make it safe and happy for the consumer, the mom, the children, the family, to come and enjoy the day. And so we spend a lot of time and money on that. But small businesses, streets that don't have sort of this whole ecosystem that we have really can't afford that. So they're dependent on local government. But shrinkage is a huge problem for retailers. The numbers you posted earlier are massive.
What is the impact? You make a really good point. I was talking to a friend who is the head of a mid-sized regional bank in Seattle. They just opened a brand new, beautiful downtown headquarters, and they find that they are impacted very, very distinctly by homeless people, by drug use, right on their doorstep or in their lobby from time to time, and it has marred what would otherwise be a very celebratory sort of environment. What is the impediment in cities to doing the kind of repair, cleanup work that you say needs to be done? Are the obstacles political? Are they obstacles about policing? What are they?
Well, I think the obstacles are political. I think the obstacles, we have elected officials that don't have the courage, or that maybe they don't have, you know, the wherewithal or equipment to make some smart decisions. They're not complicated decisions, Tyler. Clean the streets, get the homeless in sustainable housing, make the place safe, police it. You know, these are basic things that the government needs to do, and they're not doing in major cities around the United States. So when you're a CEO or owner of a business, your priority is to keep your employees safe and your guests safe. You're not going to locate your office headquarters where you're putting your employees at risk. And that's why these downtowns are suffering. Now, certainly work rules have changed, on and on. There's a new normal. There's no doubt. What the professor's talking about with the debt, no doubt. But I really believe that you can get buildings filled back up. Some of them, maybe not, because they're antiquated. fill back up if you create the right environment inside of them and around them, like we do on our properties.